Hello everybody, this is Oliver Radiate Reality, and I am decided to do another video for you guys. This one is called the Top 15 Animes. I've decided to do this countdown because I have seen a few people doing this list before, so I thought, why not make one of my own? So I've decided to go through the liberty of looking through the animes that I love to rewatch over and over again, and I'm going to list them for you guys of my favorites. So yeah, starting off at number 15, we have Hikurashi no Naku Korani, as far as I know it's pronounced. Anyways, this anime is terrifying. Yeah, terrifying. This anime is not really known for the other animes for being charming, cute, funny, or epic. This one is known for being absolutely terrifying. It is a horror anime, and it does its job very well in the first series, in my opinion. The kind of main issue that I have with this although that it has a great storyline, but they just seem to rush it in the very first few episodes and never seem to take in their time. If they did, it would have been 50 long episodes running on the same plot and same bunch of characters. They did the same thing, yes, with the same characters and everything like that, but they killed them off after every 10 or 11 episodes and revamped them with a new horror line to it. So the main gripe that I have with this is that the plots seem to get less and less interesting for me, since I did find the first one more scarier, and as you can tell, I was only scared of the first series. The second one and upwards didn't really scare me all that much, since I could pretty much tell what was coming. At number 14, we have something that people might go, "What?" at, and that is this. Yes, guys, sue me for all I care. I like the anime Powerpuff Girls Z. Why? For starters, it is my opinion. If you have a problem against it, then why don't you take it somewhere else? Secondly of all, the reason why I like this show is that it takes the American concept and makes it viewable for the Japanese audience. It's a little bit more funnier in my opinion, plus it actually has a plot running through it, unlike the American version when it's nothing but different storylines. This one just sticks with one in particular storyline, and it works pretty darn well. And the characters in this anime is what you would normally expect from a Powerpuff Girls show. So it's pretty darn good in my opinion. The only downside I have with it though is that some villains that you would normally see in this series of the American dub have plenty of screen time. It's a polar opposite in this. Sometimes the villains can have little to no screen time whatsoever, and it's mainly about the girls. Not that there's anything problem with it. Not that it's a big problem or something like that, but it's just a main killer for the series. Okay, so far you guys have seen a horror anime and a pretty hilarious Japanese knockoff of an American dubbing. Now 13 is this. Sue me for all I care, guys. I like the show Lucky Star. Why? For stars, I like the characters in this show. I find them to be cute, charming, and also pretty darn good, enjoyable. Especially I forget names. Koda-chan, that's the one. Main one out of the bunch. Koda-chan is one of those sort of like weeaboos that you would normally get. However, this one is kind of a one that you would like to be your friend. And trust me when I say this, but this anime has actually did a tie-in with TMOHS. Speaking of which, if you can guess what's coming up, you get a cookie. If you guess right, congratulations, you got a cookie. The McCoy of Haruhi Suzumiya is at number 12 for a pretty good reason. Its plotline is actually interesting. You got an Esper, a time traveler, an alien, and some power-possessed, godlike powers, all possessed in one very imaginative young girl, all packed up into one. Pretty damn good, in my opinion. So you're probably going to be asking, if an anime is as good as this is at number 12, why is it? And I'll answer you like this. It's because of the way the English dub is set out. The Japanese dub is set out in its perfect order, but the English dub is set out in random orders. So that means the second episode could be the 5th episode, or the 29th episode could be the 2nd episode. So yeah, that's a big consequence that I have with with this show, and the English dubbing just mixing up all the episodes, because I think they're just in the wrong order. Number 11 might surprise you. Here it comes. There you go. Has it surprised you? If it has, then please leave a comment. Now, I'll be honest, I grew up with the Pokemon games when I was a kid. I owned Red, Blue, and Yellow on the Nintendo Game Boy Color, and I loved playing the hell out of them. They were some of my all-time favorite classic games. But anyways, back to Advanced Battle. Pokemon Advanced Battle basically took place within the Sinnoh region with the Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald games, which I'll be honest, I think are three of the best in the series. But looking at this show, I find it to be the funniest and the most epic out of all of them. The characters are more well-rounded in this anime, and also I find a way that each one of the teams argue between Groudon and Kyogre to be quite interesting. As far as I know, Team Magma not only wants to make peace with the creatures, whereas Team Aqua wants to enslave them all. All in all, it does have its few hiccups of confusion at some point. So that's why it's at number 10. Number 11, sorry. This is number 10. One Piece! If you haven't seen my Pimpin' Master DX commentary when he was ranting on it for all the wrong reasons, you would know that One Piece would happen to be one of my favorite animes out there, and if you know this fact, you would have been expecting it to make an appearance on the list. If you were expecting it to be on the list, you'd be right, and you win yourself a cookie. If not, then I ask what the heck is the matter with you. Anyways, One Piece I find to be one of the most hilarious animes out there, and one of the most epic animes. But does that make the show all that good? Well, it has its fair share of problems I have, but besides from that, the characters are all well-rounded up, and the way that how they were all presented to each other and how they met up was absolutely fantastic. However, the main storyline between it and what happens just makes me wonder, are they actually paying attention to what's supposed to be happening at all? Because Big Al 2K6 said it best, that One Piece was supposed to be about a crew of pirates making their way to become the king of the pirates. But so far, they haven't even gotten 1 inch close towards the grand line of where they're supposed to be. Oh well. But even so, this anime I like a lot, and it is at number 10. But 9 and onwards, I like more. Number 9, prepare for metal music. Here it is. If you're playing the metal music right now, I would not be surprised. Death Note. Why is it at number 9? Simple. Like Hiroshin Koro... I forget its name now. I'm just terrible with anime names. Anyways, like number 15, this one does something a lot different. It's not all that scary, Death Note is, but it's more or less intense. It keeps you on your seat, just wondering what will happen next. It's more of a suspense thriller sort of thing, and it does its job perfectly. The characters are now there around it. The characters in this anime are absolutely perfect, and my favourite character out of them all, L, is just hilarious, as well as being one really, really good guy. that you just want to be, well, how should I put it, basically? I like Death Note due to its different type of story, its thriller, and on how it keeps you on your seat. But until L dies, then the series just got downhill for me. I didn't find the characters all that interesting afterwards. So that's why it's at number 9. You might call me cheap for putting this at number 8, but I might not be able to see why. If you're gonna call me cheap all because I'm a black belt at karate and you're gonna shout at me because since I'm a black belt I put this anime on the list and that's the reason why, then I'll say this. No. Why? I like the way the characters are rounded up in this game. I like the different stories that tie in with this anime. I like how each one of them has different sort of powers and abilities. I also like how each one of them care for one another, except for every other anime that we've seen so far. There's either some that cares about themselves, or just want people to care about them, want to be backstabbed at the same time. Oh well. But Bleach is one of those animes that has a perfect setup of characters, and it basically has all that you might see here. A perfect lineup of characters. But if there's one problem with why it's at number 8, then it might be this. It takes too long. The anime just takes too long to do something. The fight scenes normally suffer from a common anime. Okay, I'm just gonna stop here. Think. Alright, he's planning. Let's think of a different strategy. And then it goes on. It just drags on and on and on. And it never even gets interesting in those long pauses. But all in all, that's the only gripe that I have with the anime, is that it takes too long to do something. But all in all, Bleach is a great anime, one that I truly believe that the characters are well suited in. This might be considered cheating, but it's my list so I can do whatever the heck I want. Akira! Why? The movie Akira is really that's one of the most really powerful storylines, set of characters, and special effects out there, but it's just not even a joke. Akira truly deserves the fame that it got from all the critics and everything like that, and it truly is. It truly does contain the charm of how talented the artists for each animes can be. Why? Because this was one of the several animes that the Japanese developers tried to lip sync each characters of what they were saying. Instead of that bobbing up and down motion that you would normally get in certain animes, instead of that of what you will see in this one, you see perfect lip syncing. It's not the best, but it works pretty dang well. So those are the reasons why I like it. What makes it at number 7, you ask? Think, guys, the movie is too goddamn long. For a movie, this isn't even. This just makes you wonder why. For a movie like this, you would be wondering, oh, alright, this is a pretty good movie. It should be around about, what, 2 or 1 hour, 40 minutes? Nope. Guess what, guys? It's a 3-hour movie. And it really laughs at Bleach in its long episodes. This just takes forever to do. Forever. But all in all, it's great. Okay, number 6 is a recent anime. And that is Soul Eater. Boy, I might get a lot of hate for this, but as I said before, it's my opinion. Why? Well, here's where I think I might get a lot of the hate from. This anime, in my opinion, should have been more or less the anime that Bleach should have been. It still has the same rounded amount of characters of being interesting to watch and having a good storyline and everything like that, but it doesn't take too dang long. It's just perfectly rounded up. So all in all, this anime is not all that bad. It's really, really good. I highly recommend you check it out. I might be cheating for putting a recent anime at number 6, yes. But just remember, it's my opinion, and I like it. I might have a lot of hate for putting this higher than Akira. So, let's just get this over with. You see that info at the bottom left corner? The bombing of Hiroshima as seen through the eyes of a brave young boy? That's the edge that this anime has over Akira. Akira is a supernatural action movie. This is based on an actual event, especially an event that terrified millions of Japanese people throughout their country, since 2 bombs were dropped at them during World War II, one in Nagasaki and one in Hiroshima. This is based in Hiroshima, the very first of the 2 dropped. The characters are well rounded up. It's really tragic at some parts, and it actually did make me have a bit of a tear every now and again. This anime is one of those that I highly recommend you check out. If you have not seen this anime, you are truly missing out on a lot. Now it's at number 4. We have Toko. Toko is another supernatural anime, but it behaves a lot more different than all the other supernatural animes. Instead of Death Note, when we get to the Shirogami, we actually get some underworld demons and a devil trying to come back from the underworld and dominate the world. What's interesting about this is that there's over 108 of them, and it's really interesting to try and see each one of these characters fight their way through in order to survive. And the way that these characters were introduced to one another was actually really damn good, and the way that how they disguise with the real world is actually pretty damn good, and at times pretty damn funny. Also, this anime, in my opinion, has some of the best action scenes. But if there was one thing that had to keep me down with it compared to other animes, it would happen to be this. The anime itself is just too dang short. It runs in around about 20 episodes, I think. So yeah. But I believe it was short enough for 2 series though, so that might give it a little bit of the edge at number 4. But it would have been at number 3 if it didn't end on a goddamn cliffhanger. Oh well, even so, Toko, number 4. Now this anime I can never get tired of watching, and that is Black Lagoon. These top 3 animes I love so much that I just watch them more repeated times than any of the other animes put on the list so far. Why? Well, let's start with Black Lagoon, since it is at number 3. Black Lagoon has a pretty interesting lineup of characters. It has your common sort of like military lineup for a bunch of pirates. You got the engineerist, you got the main captain, you got the leading soldier, and you've also got the rookie. That's basically what Black Lagoon has got. However, if there is one thing that I have against the anime, it's the relationships between each character. They constantly change and it goes all over the place, and I'm just wondering, can't you all just get along? And plus, this is not with just the permanent characters that you normally get. It's also with the other characters that you will normally see throughout the anime. At first, one of them is stunned. The next, they despise each other. The next, they're rivals. And after that, they absolutely despise each other. Then after that, they like each other. Then after that, they're rivals again. My brain hurts from following all these characters' relationships. But even so, it's still a good anime, and I recommend you try it out. Realm Wars, if you are watching this, you would agree with number 2, and that is Alfred lied. Yes, Alfred lied at number 2. Why? I'll tell you why. The characters are fantastic, the storyline is fantastic, and the emotion is unbelievably fantastic. This anime is one of the most emotional animes that I've seen in my entire life. At the same time, it does contain its action scenes, but where it hits a certain emotion, it drives towards the audience. The way that it strikes you out with each time it happens with one of its own scenes, whether they're cute, charming, epic, or whatever. You'll just be amazed of what you might see with this anime. Plus, I know I said the word emotion a lot, but that's just basically the key word of how I can describe Alfred Lied. Emotion. It's an emotion-filled anime, and the emotion is so striking in this anime that it even affects the way of how you think of the characters. Some of them you'll hate, some of them you'll despise, some of them you'll like, some of them you will admire, and some of them you will literally fall in love with. But there's one reason why it's at number 2, and that is this. 14 episodes! 14 episodes. One series, 14 episodes, that's it. And like Toko, it ends on a freaking cliffhanger. This at first was my favorite anime, for good reasons. All the emotion just basically explained it for me. But until I came across number 1, you're basically gonna see why I like number 1 over Alfred Lied. And here it is, number 1, and I think you might be surprised from what it is. Hellsing. Hellsing is at number 1. Now you might be wondering, why the heck is Hellsing at number 1? I'll tell you the reason why. For starters, its story is absolutely perfect. It's about this organization that controls this vampire to get rid of the undead. One of the humans that actually dies whilst the vampire is conflicting another vampire, and whilst that vampire is conflicting the other and kills a girl in between, he asks the girl if she wants to join him. She applies, and then she becomes a vampire. In Ultimate OVA though, this changed, as the girl has to be a virgin in order for the vampire to make her a vampire. She reveals that she's a virgin, she becomes a vampire. Hellsing, in my opinion, is just a balanced anime. It's the most balanced anime out of all the ones on this list, in my opinion. It has a perfect roundup of characters, the most interesting storyline I've found so far, and it also its fight scenes are also really, really gripping. With that said, guys, this has been Oliver 88 Reality. This has been my top 15 favorite animes list. I hope I explained as much as I can to show you why I like these animes so much. And hopefully I will see you in the next video of mine. Oh, boy, that was such a hard time to put together.